Today's figure review is of the Red Scare variant of the new Titanic Creations Pulgazary, so as always, I had to make a drink to match. For this Red Scare cocktail, you'll need soju, cinnamon schnapps, sparkling apple cider, gold luster dust, and red food coloring. In a glass with ice, add some gold luster dust and red food coloring. Pour in 1.5 ounces of some cinnamon schnapps. Add 2 ounces of soju. Top that all off with around 4 ounces of a sparkling apple cider, and enjoy. Cheers! Titanic Creations is back at it again with some more lesser-known kaiju, this time with Pulgazary, or rather, Pulgazary with a Z and a Y, because copyright is fun. This time, instead of one main release, they're doing smaller runs of variants, including a classic color version and an iridescent variant. For this Red Scare variant, we have some sweet Matt Frank art. As always, Titanic Creations has some of the best packaging in the game. I love these clear boxes in general, and I love that these boxes actually match the variant inside. That's a huge draw for me instead of the same box over and over. The figures are laid out in the tray in a very displayable manner, so the whole package looks great on the shelf if you don't want to set up a whole display. But you should, because these figures are sweet. Inside the package, you of course have the Pulgazary figures themselves, a plastic base, 2 buildings, 2 extra pairs of hands, and a train. The base has spots for each of the buildings and makes for a great little diorama. You may also notice the little holes. The Yongari set comes with flying vehicles that can plug in here so you can combine all the accessories into a larger diorama. You can plug in the ones from the Gorgo set, but the wire there isn't thick enough for them to be held tight. Now the buildings here are incredible. Titanic Creations keeps upping their game with every release. In the Gorgo set, we had the destructible Big Ben clock tower, which was awesome, but once you remove the top, you have this extra bit here with a hollow interior. They've solved both of these problems with these new buildings. Check this out. Not only do the buildings look great on their own, but each building has parts that can be removed, and you can see a surprising amount of detail in the exposed portions. And I like the lights in the random windows too. These are just fantastic. Came for the figure, stayed for the accessories, right? And the next accessory here is the train. Designed by my buddy Kamen Rider Silver, we get 3 train cars that can actually plug into each other. A fun little detailed accessory. Now the coloring of this train looks familiar, so this Pulgazary set may be -1 accessory, as I'll most likely end up using this for my Godzillas. See what I did there? But while there were no trains in feudal Korea, there weren't these skyscrapers either, but I appreciate how Titanic Creations has been bringing some of these characters into the modern era. Pulgazary's design was never one of my favorites, but there's something about this dope pulp sculpt, say that 5 times fast, that really works for me. The Mondo ones were fairly screen accurate, which is why I never grabbed them, but I had to pick this one up when I saw it in person at DesignerCon in 2024. I'm a sucker for translucent figures, and this one is a pretty neat way to show its like hot iron right out of the fire look from the film. Or if you like the Red Bull from The Last Unicorn, that also works. Depending on how you have this guy posed, he can stand up to 7 inches tall, almost a head above their Gorgo figure. For articulation, this guy has quite a bit. I love that it's cast in a soft enough material to not stab you or shatter if it's dropped, but still sturdy enough to hold a pose. The head is on a double ball joint. There's a hinge at the mouth, hinge and swivel at both of the shoulders, hinge and swivel at both elbows, hinge and swivel at the wrists, and we'll get back to those in just a bit. Big ball joint at the waist. Ball joint at the tail. Ball joint at both hips. Hinge and swivel at both knees. And a hinge and swivel at both of the ankles. Now getting back to those wrists. It comes with some neutral hands, with some bonus fists and more open hands that are better for gripping things like the train. All you gotta do is pop the hands off and plug in whichever you would like. And all the hands, even those bonus ones, have the same articulation. The baby Pulgazary is one solid piece with no articulation, just like the baby Gorgo. I love that this one is translucent and gold, just like the adult version. One great thing about this little one is that, depending on the size of your human figures, this could also work as the little model version. Got some tiny human characters? That'll make this guy life-sized. Got some 12-inch Hot Toys humans? Make him even hotter with this spicy guy. So now let's iron out some of the details. As of the recording of this video, the classic color version of the figure is sold out, but this Red Scare variant is still available on the Titanic Creations website on sale for $100. It's limited to only 333 copies, so you'd better grab it fast. I'll put a link in the description. Any remaining color variants, like the iridescent one, will be released in 2025, so keep an eye out for those. In the meantime, definitely go check out all of Titanic Creations' cast of colorful kaiju characters. Thank you for watching and liking and subscribing and all those things you do that help out the channel, and remember to always drink responsibly.